So to speak to your concerns right away, none of what made you click this video, not the title nor the thumbnail, is clickbait at all. All of it is 100% factual. I took a brand new Instagram account from 0 to over 10K real, active, and hyper engaged followers strictly through posting content. I did not execute any growth hacks whatsoever. I also managed the account using one app, and I never invested more than 2 hours per week into growing it. So throughout this video, I'm going to walk you through everything that I did, explain every strategy, and I'm also going to explain why I made this video in the first place. And at the end, as a thank you for sticking around and as a thank you for helping the channel surpass 25,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving the account away completely for free. So this Instagram account with over 10K real followers and crazy levels of engagement can be yours completely for free, simply for sticking around for the whole video, consuming super valuable Instagram content throughout. So I'm going to go as far as to say this may be the most valuable Instagram video on YouTube. So with that said, I hope you're as fired up as I am. Let's take this account from 0 to 10K and then let's give it away. That just rhymed. Let's do this. So for anyone who's new here, my name's Ben. I'm a social media strategist, and on this channel, I release weekly videos to help you crush it on Instagram and other social media platforms to build an audience, enhance your presence, and scale your business online. So be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss a future video that can help you get a leg up on your competition. So I was actually looking at my analytics for my channel the other day, and I came across a stat that broke my heart. There are a ridiculous number of you that watch the videos on a consistent basis that have not clicked subscribe. So let's remedy that right now. It is completely free, takes 2 seconds, and we'll both benefit from it. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell button. I promise you, you will not regret it. So thank you and welcome. Let's crush it. So this video, the account, and the challenge that went into building it did not happen by accident, and I would go as far as to say it was fate. So it all kind of happened in a funny way, so I wanted to share the story with you for a bit of context. So a mobile app company called Appfi, which is a purely mobile, meaning all on your phone, content planner and scheduler with a bunch of different features for social media platforms, reached out to me and asked for me to make a video on their app. I said, let me get my hands on it, let me see if I like it, and if I do, and I can also think of a solid video idea, I'll make a video. So I wasn't sold on it yet. I wanted to make sure it was a video worth making. So fast forward about a week later, I was thinking about expanding my Instagram account roster, meaning I was thinking about buying a new Instagram account to manage, monetize, and maybe sell down the road. And I'm a massive fan of the TV show called The Office, which you may have heard of. So I figured, why not buy an Office theme page? So I started this off the same way I would trying to buy any other kind of account. I did a bunch of research to see accounts within this niche that fit a few criterias. The first being they have to have solid levels of engagement. The second, they have to have a good growth trajectory. And 3, I don't want them to be too huge of accounts so that the owner doesn't ask for a ridiculous amount of money to sell it to me. I then DM'd all of the accounts that fit this criteria, and as is usually the case, the majority did not reply, but one did, and that individual is who we have to thank for this video. So for some context, the account that replied had around 15,000 followers at the time, and the exchange went a little something like this. I DM'd them saying, hey, would you be open to selling your account? They then replied saying, yeah, I'd be happy to. I replied saying, what would you be looking to get out of it? Because I'm a sick negotiator. I didn't want to set my price. They then replied saying $5,000 US. So for anybody who knows anything about Instagram, that is an insane ask for this kind of transaction, especially for that little amount of followers. So I replied saying, are you okay? Because if you're throwing out numbers like that, there's clearly something wrong here. They then got a little salty and replied saying, that's what it's worth. That was the light bulb moment for me that really sparked the competitiveness within me and gave me the perfect idea for the Appfi video. I decided right then that I was going to take a brand new Office theme page and build it from 0 to over 10K real followers. So to add a little spice to the challenge, I wanted to add a few more elements. The first being all the content has to be managed through the Appfi app. Number 2 is I never want to invest more than 2 hours per week into growing it. And 3, I cannot use any growth hacks. So no follow for follow, no like for like, none of that stuff. None of the other growth tactics that I talk about in my other videos. It can strictly be through content and interacting with my audience. And yes, I'm doing this all to stick it to the guy who wanted too much money for his account. Let me tell you, we got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So yes, I am that petty and I am that competitive. So with that said, let's get into growing the account. So before getting into everything, I want to throw this out there. So while for this video, I will be growing a theme page, and a theme page is definitely the easiest account to grow, all of the advice and all of the strategies that I'm going to walk through in this video can absolutely be applied to whatever kind of account that you are running. It may not be directly applicable. You may have to get a little bit creative, but all of these strategies can be implemented and help you grow any kind of page. So just watch it through that lens and watch it specific to your situation. Whatever it is, there's value here that you can apply to your situation. So with that, let's get into the story and the tactics that went into growing the page that I'm giving away, Dunder Mifflin Days. So to make this video as valuable as possible and as easy to consume as possible, I want to break it up into a few different sections. The first being setting up the account. So the first step in that is obviously creating the account itself and the username that goes along with it. When doing this, it can be kind of difficult and super frustrating because the majority of the usernames you're going to want to use, and the ones that are really good, are going to have already been taken. There are so many millions of Instagram accounts out there that you're going to have to get creative. So when I do this, there's a few rules I like to follow. The first being I want it to be as short and concise as possible. The second is I want it to be very tightly and connected to my theme, my niche, whatever the page is. It should be very obvious that that's the kind of page it is. That's the kind of content you provide. And the third is you want to try to avoid any sort of spammy indicators. Whenever people come across a spam page on Instagram, there's usually a few things that are common with the username. There's usually numbers, underscores, and periods in their username. So I typically try to avoid these as much as possible just to eliminate any sort of threat of us being a spam page when people come across it. So with all that, I landed on Dunder Mifflin Z Team, but I quickly changed that to Dunder Mifflin Days because I felt like that rolled off the tongue a little bit better. So the next step after picking your username is to pick your actual name. And this is really the only SEO tool, meaning search engine optimization tool, that there is on Instagram that you can leverage. So what you want to do is to really get into the mind of who is going to come across this content and like it and capture that in the name. So with this, since I'm going to be posting the office memes and things of that nature, I literally made my name The Office Memes. Why I did this is because if anybody searches that in the search bar on Instagram, there's a chance they're going to come across my content, click through to my page, and because they're interested in that kind of stuff, they may follow. So it's not a huge thing, but it's a little tactic you can use to drive a little more traffic. So whatever the theme of your page is, whatever the content is that you're doing, you want to try to capture that in the name of the account. So after you have your name and your username, the next thing I like to do is optimize my bio. And what I mean by optimize is have it structured in a way that speaks directly to your ideal follower. So in this case, with my theme page being for The Office, I want to speak directly to someone who's a huge fan of The Office and show them that this is a place that's going to capture that kind of content by making sure that they know that I am also a huge fan of The Office. So I did this by using a few inside jokes that only The Office fans would understand and appreciate. The first line being, "Nice to meet me." I did that as a kind of an introduction to the page and also a reference to a line that is used by one of the characters, Michael Scott, in the show when he's being Date Mike.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
So that right there speaks directly to someone who's a fan of The Office. They're going to get that. They're going to appreciate it. The next thing that I did was kind of an incentive to follow, and I did follow in all caps to capture their attention. And I used another inside reference to The Office by saying, "Or else you have to sit beside Toby." Again, speaking to the fact that no one likes Toby in the show. Again, I'm speaking and I'm optimizing for my ideal follower. The next thing is just a confirmation of what they're going to get from this account. And I said the best The Office content on Instagram, just so that they know what they can expect moving forward. And the fourth and final step I included was just kind of a little disclaimer saying all the rights of the show go to NBC because obviously I don't own The Office. So none of this content is truly owned by me. None of the rights are owned by me. Again, this is not legal advice whatsoever, but throwing that in there is just a little disclaimer saying that I don't own any of this content. I don't think I do. I also don't think I own The Office. So I just threw that in there to make that clear. But again, this is not legal advice. So the final step in creating the profile is actually picking a profile picture. And this is something you want to give some thought to because this is going to be shown to people all the time and it should capture their eye. It should be optimized for your ideal follower to really capture their attention. So for me, I leveraged off of my bio. So because I said "nice to meet me," I captured the same sort of reference in the profile picture by using Date Mike. And to amplify a little bit even further, I added an outline around Date Mike just to capture some attention and then had a white backdrop behind him just to get a nice aesthetic to it and also be a little bit different from most of what's out there. So it certainly does not have to be beautifully edited or anything too crazy. That literally took me 2 seconds to create in Canva, but it's definitely something you want to keep in mind because all of these little things should be optimized for your ideal follower to increase your conversions of traffic that you drive to your page as much as possible. So what I mean by conversions is you want as many people that visit your page to follow, and the best way to do that is all of the little things in addition to your content. So you want to give all these things some thought from the very beginning, but you can always improve and change these over time. So if you do get a better idea for a username, better idea for a profile picture, a better way to optimize your bio, these are things you can always change, but I wanted to give you some direction for the beginning of this. So now that our account is created and optimized for our ideal follower, the next step in the process is to actually grow it. And because of the rules associated with the challenge, I'm strictly doing it through content. So the next task is sourcing that content and doing so strategically. So since this is the theme page, I'm going to be reposting and repurposing content that I find on Instagram from other competitors' accounts and as well as other social media platforms. But the same strategies that I'm going to show you in terms of how I found the content could definitely be applied whatever kind of page you're running. So since we are a brand new page, we are at a disadvantage against our competitors because we don't have the followers or the engagement. That makes things a lot easier and makes it easier to funnel targeted traffic to your page. But you still can grow from zero strictly through content, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So I call this strategy viral post hunting. And so essentially what you're doing is you're taking advantage of the market research that your competitors have already done. They've been posting for a long period of time. So with that, they're constantly getting market research and market feedback in real time based on the performance and engagement of posts. So what I do is I pick 3 to 4 of the bigger players within your space, go to their page and look for outliers, look for viral posts. So there's gonna be a normal range of likes that they typically get in their posts, but there's gonna be a few outliers every few posts that perform way better. So what you wanna do is capture 10 to 15 of these viral posts per page that you look at, because these are the posts that you're going to use on your page. And the reason why you wanna do this is because the market has already shown that it likes this content. So what we wanna do is take advantage of that research, use it on our own page to attract new and targeted followers. Plus, with us being a brand new page, we wanna take advantage of every possible thing we can. And this way we can just strictly take the ones that we know have the best chance of being successful. So you want to do this 10 to 15 posts that are viral posts from 3 to 4 different accounts. And why I chose these numbers is because I want to be posting 4 to 5 times a day. And this will give me enough content to manage it for the entire week. So I would just do this at the beginning of the week, go through, look for the viral posts on 3 different accounts, save them all, and then bulk upload them using AppFi and let it run for the entire week. So AppFi made this really easy. I would invest 1 to 2 hours at the beginning of the week and then essentially just let it run and it would grow. So since I mentioned that we are going to be reposting other people's content, I just wanted to mention this. Although Instagram is kind of the Wild West, meaning that there's no governing body that dictates or penalizes you for using other people's content really, you definitely want to give credit whenever possible. So say if there's a watermark or if it's an original art piece, definitely give credit whenever it's easy to do so. And then also if people DM you saying, oh, I created this, can you give me credit? Always be quick to do so because you never want to create problems for yourself. It's super easy. It's not going to stunt your growth. So always give credit whenever possible. Just wanted to throw that out there. So through executing the viral post strategy, we've gone through and we've picked 10 to 15 posts from 3 to 4 of our competitors, giving us all the content for the upcoming week. Then the next thing you want to do is bulk upload all of this content using AppFi to the page that you're going to be managing. AppFi will allow you to do 20 posts at a time, so you're going to have to do this in 2 separate things, but it does not take much time at all. And because of the few other things I'm going to talk about in a second, it makes doing all of this in a very targeted way extremely easy. So in doing this, you want to make sure to write a unique caption for every single content, and you want to speak directly to that piece of content. The reason you want to do this is because it gives you an opportunity to be unique, and it also allows you to write polarizing captions. Ideally, if you're running a page, you should know the talking points that are going to really spark debate or create conversation or really get people involved and invested in the content. And you want to leverage that whenever you can on every piece of content. So failing to do this is really only limiting yourself, and you'll see you'll get better with this over time. And the better that you do get means the more people are going to get invested. There's going to be more debates going on in the comment section, which means more comments on that piece of content, which is engagement that helps you get in front of more targeted people. So always try to write polarizing captions specific to your niche and the piece of content. That may sound daunting at first, but keep in mind, these don't have to be really long-winded things. You're actually better off being succinct and speaking directly to what you're trying to get at in a concise manner, specific to your ideal follower. And again, this is stuff you should know, so you should be able to do that in a pretty quick manner, like 1 to 2 sentences for each post. So write specific captions for each piece of content, but the other elements that we're going to include in the caption section are things that you can use over and over and over again. And luckily, AppFi saves this stuff for you so that you can quickly populate it for every single post and easily just change the beginning part of it. So the caption that you want to be polarizing, you can just change that post over post to save a ton of time. So the elements you're going to want to include in every caption is 1 to 3 times. You're going to want to say follow and then your page. And then I also like to include a little bit of a motivator saying exactly what they're going to get from this. So what I did on a pretty consistent basis on this page was 2 of the same things on top of each other. It was follow in all caps to capture their attention, then a little finger pointing emoji to point directly to the handle, which was Dunder Mifflin Days, and then for more exclamation point. That's just speaking to the fact that this is the page that's sourcing this content and that you should follow if you're interested for more. So why it's really important to do this is because as you start ranking on tags and getting on the explore page, people will just be presented with the specific piece of content that is being shown to them. They won't see your overall page. So by throwing in that follow indicator, it's going to drive more traffic to your page because they know that it's this kind of content that they can expect if they like that. And you want to get as much profile visits as possible because that's how you're going to convert a casual viewer into a follower that will help you grow your page moving forward. And AppFi makes it super easy to include this on every single post, so definitely do that. The next element that you're going to include on every single post is 30 targeted hashtags. So luckily with a niche page, especially one that's this targeted, sourcing your tags and figuring out which ones to use is actually pretty easy because there's not that many relevant tags that have any sort of traffic. So all I did was put together 2 different lists of tags and then just rotated which ones I wanted to use. Once you've used a caption once on AppFi, it automatically saves it. So every other time I would just rotate between knowing that one is one set of tags, the other is the different set. And so many people ask me if they'll get penalized for using the same tags over and over again. That you will not be penalized, but why this typically doesn't work for people is because it varies so much by content. But with this being so hyper niche focused, all of the hashtags that I'm going to be using are going to technically apply to every single post, meaning that I won't get penalized by anybody not being interested in that content if it's shown on that tag. So when it comes to hashtags, it's really the relevancy that's super important. And with this page being super niche, all the tags that I'd be using will be relevant to every single piece of content, so I don't need to change them every single time, which helps make the process way easier and save you time. So there's a few different ways to create your groups of tags. You can either use Flick, which I just popped up a full tutorial on how to use that. It's a hashtag research tool. Another super easy way to do it is go to a few of your competitors, look at their posts, see what tags they're using, and if they're doing really well, you may want to incorporate some of their tags. And the third way is just traditionally just to type in a tag, anything that you may be relevant, look at the traffic levels, see if there's people actually looking for that kind of content, and put your group of 30 together. I would say make between 1 and 3 different groups and then rotate which one you use on every single post that you bulk schedule using AppFi. I would literally just repeat this process every single week. I would invest about an hour to viral post finding and then the other half an hour to an hour formatting all the posts, bulk scheduling them to AppFi, and then putting in all the associated caption, the follow indicator, and then the tags. It's that simple. I just literally repeat that every single week, and you're going to find you start ranking in tags, and once you get on the Explore page, it's over, baby. You start growing. You start growing very, very fast. And there's a few other things that you want to keep in mind to expedite this process. One is social listening. So what I mean by that is keep an eye on your content. So see what is currently working. If you find that there's a current theme that you find that all of your posts that are associated with this kind of thing really do well, you want to double down on that and search for content that really associates with what you think is the reason it's really working. The other thing that you want to do is look at your competitors as well. Is there something that they're doing? Is there an account within your niche that's growing way faster than the other ones? Is there anything specific that you can pinpoint that they're doing? When I was doing this, there was an example of just that. I came across a bunch of pages that were growing so much faster than me, and I saw it's because of their video content. So if you go through and look through on Dunder Mifflin Days, there was a period of time when I just doubled down on video because I saw that the algorithm was loving that, especially within this niche. So I doubled down on video, and then my growth just went way faster and gave me so much more momentum that made everything easier moving forward. So social listening is finding out what works, doubling down on that and making a habit of it because these things will change over time. So you want to stay on top of trends to benefit from it the most. The other thing I can't stress enough is remaining consistent. And why you want to do this is because the more consistent you are, you're building trust with Instagram. So what they're going to do, once they pinpoint what kind of content you're posting, which makes it very easy because of all the relevant tags you're associating with all of your content, once you do so on a consistent basis and you show them that you're going to be here and you're going to continue to be here to serve any audience that they provide you, they're going to start showing you to more and more people. And because they now know the kind of content you're posting, they know who to show it to through the tags and the Explore page. So you're going to find it'll start with ranking on some tags because Instagram's getting a little bit of trust on you. And then as those posts perform well within the tags, then you start getting on the Explore page. And as I mentioned earlier, once you get on the Explore page, that's when exponential growth happens. That's when you start going from 0 to a lot of followers real quickly through a few posts. You'll find that some posts will just gain you hundreds of followers because the explore page traffic was crazy. So that comes through being consistent, and building off that, you want to remain consistent. So what I mean by that is don't take weeks off, or don't even slow down. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal, because as you do that, you'll notice your reach will start to drop too. There were some instances when I was running the page where I was a little bit lazy that week. Say I only posted 2 to 3 times, and overall the reach for the posts went down quite significantly. And that makes a ton of sense because Instagram as a platform wants its users to be as obsessed with it as possible. So they want as much content as possible to be on the platform that people love, that will keep them on there, keep them consuming, keeping them watching ads. So what they do is they reward profiles that kind of feed that obsession. So I know that that sounds kind of messed up, but understanding that allows you to leverage it. So you do want to remain consistent, and as consistent as possible with as many posts as possible. So I mentioned I was posting 4 to 5 times a day. That was just a number that I picked. It was just an arbitrary number. I would say do more if you even could. I actually started doing some experiments where I posted, say, 7, 8 times a day, and I noticed that to have a very positive impact on my page. So if you ever find yourself coming to a lull where your growth is really stalled, try upping the posting frequency for your page and see if that helps. But again, you do also want to maintain a threshold of quality for the content that you post. You don't just want to be throwing out garbage. As long as you can maintain that standard of quality, there really isn't too much you can post, especially if you're a theme page. This will vary if you're a personal page or a business page, but for a theme page, more is almost always better as long as it's quality content. So I know I just threw a ton at you, so I'm going to summarize it all right here before we move on. So the first step is you want to go pick out 3 to 4 competitors and go look for 10 to 15 of their most viral posts. You want to save that content to then be repurposed on your page. You then want to bulk upload all of the posts that you're going to be using, scheduling them using AppFi, using their bulk scheduler, and then create custom captions for each piece of content, speaking to that content and being as polarizing as possible. And then also accompanying that caption with the follow prompt and all of the hashtags that you can then rank in. So do this every single week, remain consistent, and you will start ranking on tags. You will start getting the explore page. And the other thing you want to remember to do is, especially when you're small, always get back to people as quickly as possible when they do interact with you. So when you do get DMs, when you get comments, always try to reply. That'll just get the snowball rolling far faster. So remember to do that in addition to scheduling all the content. Even with that said, I was still pretty lazy with it, and I only invested about half an hour. I would do all of my replying at once, but for you, if you have more time, I would say reply as the comments come in. It's going to help you out. So that was literally everything I did on a weekly basis for that account, and I brought it from over 0 to over 11K now in about 3-4 months time, literally just doing that about an hour to 2 hours per week. But with that said, there's a lot of things I could have done if I had have invested even a little bit more time that would have made this process go way faster, and my growth would have been far more exponential. So I wanted to share these with you in case you do have the time so that you can make your growth way faster. The first thing I definitely should have done was, while practicing social listening, as I mentioned earlier, I came across that video was something that people really loved and the algorithm really loved. I should have continued to use more and more video because it was doing so well, but because I was trying to be as lazy with this as possible, the video just did take a little bit more time for everything involved to upload, to format, to do all that stuff. So once I got to a certain point where I had the ball rolling, I had a lot of momentum, I stopped doing video. Had I have maintained that video implementation and kept using that as more of my strategy, growth would have been faster. Another pro tip is, if you can modify the videos in a specific or unique way, throwing a watermark on there and anything else that you can do to differentiate yourself, even something as simple as unique subtitles, that will help so much. All of the accounts that I saw that were killing it, they had something unique about their video content that really made them stand out. And it's the smallest differences that make a world of a difference when there's so many people offering the same thing. So that little bit of effort to make it unique will improve your conversion rate by an insane amount. So definitely invest the time, be creative. It'll help you out in the long run. Another thing I definitely should have done was I should have incorporated stories a lot more. I think throughout the whole time of this page, I only posted like 2 or 3 stories, and AppFi actually allows you to post and schedule stories using the app. So I definitely should have leveraged that feature. Even if you just use the same sort of content on your story, you want to have a story as often as possible because you want to encourage people to click, come visit your profile, and then convert them using your bio and your content and all that good stuff to actually turn them into a follower. So I definitely should have incorporated more stories. Absolutely. I was, again, just being as lazy as possible. I should have leveraged AppFi and the fact that you can do that. So I would highly advise you to do that and really make stories a consistent part of your strategy. So with stories, you also want to use them as a tool to interact with your followers as much as possible, to get them as engaged with your account as you can, because the more you do that, the more they're going to see your content and interact with it. So you can do this by putting polls on your stories, asking them questions, all sorts of stuff, just to actually give them the opportunity to interact and engage with it for two reasons. It gets them more committed to you. They feel like they know your account a little bit better. And then from an algorithm perspective, once they start doing this, Instagram knows that they want and value this content, and they're going to keep showing it to them, which helps you rank on tags, get on the explore page, and continue to grow. So really think about that. How can you get them to interact with you and build a relationship so that it helps churn the machine here and keep your growth steady and sustainable? There we go. Third element of stories that I really should have incorporated was Instagram allows you to have story highlights. And I definitely should have incorporated this because this provides another huge opportunity for you to be creative and also guide your ideal follower from a profile visitor into a follower. So what I mean by that is you want to optimize your story highlights in a very similar way to the caption, which we referenced earlier. You want it to be a way to speak directly to your ideal follower as quickly as possible, and also turn it into a tool to essentially build a follower pathway that brings a page or profile visitor into a follower. And you do this by speaking directly to your ideal follower and speaking to what they're looking for. So you can use inside references, inside jokes, maybe speak to the best content that you know they'll really love, put that on your story, show examples of you interacting with your community, showing that you're not just a random page, that you actually are a community and you engage with them. You want to try to check every subconscious box that they're looking for, and story highlights are a great way to do that. And it's one more element that you can use to be unique and dramatically improve your conversion rate of visitors to followers. And it's these little things, like I can't stress that enough. It's the little things that make a world of a difference. So those are the things that I should have done, and had I have done, it would have expedited the whole process so much faster. But again, I was trying to be as lazy with this as possible. But for you, definitely put in the time. You'll benefit from it. And realistically, looking back on it, had I just invested a little more time, I could have made this video probably a month or two ago, but here we are. So about AppFee, the app that I use to manage the whole page. Now that I've used it for a few months now, I can honestly say that I love it. I think there's a ton of features that I could have even used that I didn't leverage to its full extent. So I would highly advocate checking it out. There'll be a link in the description box and in the pinned comment to go check that out if you want. Why I really love it is it's completely mobile. So a lot of people don't want to use their computer, and this allows you to do it all from the app, and it can essentially do anything you can think of in terms of content planning and scheduling, all from your phone, which is really awesome. It makes it super easy. So I would highly advocate checking them out. So go ahead and use the comment in the description box and the pinned comment to check out AppFee. If you use that link, you'll get a 10% off discount on any purchase that you make. It is an affiliate link, but just as a disclaimer, I only recommend products that I really believe in and that I've used firsthand and believe in what they can provide. And this is definitely one that falls into that category. So if interested, use that link. So now to the moment that you've all been waiting for. How can you go about winning this page, Dunder Mifflin Days, with over 11,000 followers? Well, it's as simple as this. All you have to do to enter is like the video, comment your favorite TV show in the comment section for this video, subscribe to the channel, then go over to Instagram, follow me there, and then send me screenshots of the proof from all the stuff over on YouTube. So all of that should only take you 1 to 2 minutes time. And as soon as you do that, you will be entered to win. And the winner will be announced on July 17th on my Instagram story. If you missed any of the requirements, I'm also going to leave them in the description box. So go ahead and read those and follow them through to be entered. So go ahead and do that and enter to win Dunder Mifflin Days. And the winner will be announced July 17th. This is an account that could be bringing in consistent monthly revenue for you. And I'm actually thinking about expanding on this video and kind of turning it into a series and coaching whoever wins on how to best monetize off of this page and continue to grow it. So there's a ton of incentive to enter this contest. So don't forget to do it. So one final time, even if you don't want to enter the contest, be sure to click subscribe on this video because I'm going to continue to bring tons of content to help you crush it on IG and other social media platforms that I promise you don't want to miss. So thank you and welcome to Team Ben. So if you're looking for any help with Instagram hashtags and how to conduct hashtag research, I just linked my 2020 hashtag research guide video, which will provide a ton of value in helping you to do that. And then if you're just looking for some growth hacks to incorporate into your strategy on Instagram, go check out the other video that I just linked. It'll be a ton of help there as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to enter the contest. Have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.